I was just about to write that Andersen doesn't put it quite that bluntly, that his argument is framed by the built-in anti-ideological caution that comes with years of running mainstream magazines and hosting a public radio show. He is the host of Studio 360, which runs on more than 200 public radio stations, the author of several novels and the former editor of New York Magazine. But when I turned back to the introduction to Fantasyland, I found that simply isn't true. People tend to regard the Trump moment, this post-truth, alternative facts moment, as some inexplicable and crazy new American phenomenon. In fact, what's happening is just the ultimate extrapolation and expression of attitudes and instincts that have made America exceptional for its entire history and really, from its prehistory. Going back to America's roots and origins, Andersen argues, ours has been a nation of true believers and passionate dreamers, a mixture of epic individualism and extreme religion that got dosed with steroids by the cultural explosion of the 1960s, and then by the internet age, culminating in the America we inhabit today, where reality and fantasy are weirdly and dangerously blurred and commingled. Donald Trump, to put it another way, is a creature out of American mythology at its dumbest and darkest, promising a return to a mythical America that never existed in the first place. Which may explain why he seems so much more like an imaginary president than a real one. There are areas of interpretation and emphasis where I disagree with Andersen, sometimes strongly. As he would likely acknowledge, his discussion of the 20th century before 1960 is exceedingly truncated, and various things that could be seen as important plot points in America's long narrative of delusional thinking are mentioned only in passing, or not at all. J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, FDR and the New Deal, World War II and the atomic bomb, and most of all the Cold War, a crazy-making pseudo-conflict whose contradictory effects on our society are still playing themselves out. Generally speaking, Andersen isn't all that interested in questions of political conflict or state power, and seems to view all forms of ideology as essentially religious in nature, which isn't necessarily a wrong or useless idea, but skews his account toward a relatively narrow conception of the cultural sphere.